We're Mala and Don.
And we travel full-time in our 40-foot bus.
With our cats Pizzicato
and Mr. Sweetface. We've been traveling full-time for over a year.
And one of the most common questions we get asked is, what's the favorite place that you've been to?
It feels like we've crammed 10 years of sticks and bricks life adventures into the last 365 days.
You wanna get out the shot? So this week, we're gonna take a look back at all our favorite campground,
resort,
harvest host,
last minute, overnight, boondocking spots, favorite hike, favorite town,
gatherings,
sightseeing,
favorite national park, or did you find anywhere that you could see yourself living? You're second on the list, okay? Oh, mister. I'm sorry, it's not cat time yet. It's not cat time. I feel mean. He wants to go out.
You want to take him out now?
He really wants to go out.
We wanted to get started right away and record some stuff, but the cats are dying to go out.
Yeah? Mrs. Sweetface doesn't understand our Habitate filming schedule. That's a good boy. In you go. Good job. Okay, now that we got the cat walking out the way,
Yeah.
let's get to our favorite places.
Yeah, let's start with our favorite boondocking spots.
If you don't know what boondocking is, it is dry camping on free land.
That can be in Bureau of Land Management land, Forest Service land. There's even some free Army Corps of Engineer land. There's lots of free camping across the country.
This is one of the faves that I almost don't want to tell you because I don't want people to go there and make it like super popular. We did a lot of boondocking in Arizona, and for sure our favorite spot was Mitri Lake.
Being in the desert for months on end, it was wonderful to find a spot to camp for free right on the water by the lake there.
It didn't even feel like Arizona, like because of the lake, it just felt like you were suddenly in a different state.
And the palm trees.
Yeah, the palm trees in Arizona. Yeah, it was bizarre, but it was awesome. It was a great spot. It was easy to park. There were trails you could walk around there. Of course, you had the lake that you could go paddleboarding on or just relax on. Sunsets were amazing. But I think what really made the place was the people we were hanging out with. And I think that's gonna be true of all the experiences that we had. They were all pretty new friends to us, but they became such great friends. I mean, we just had the best time at Mitri Lake.
Now, a personal favorite spot of mine was when we stayed out in the Olympic National Forest. I love the Northwest. In particular, I love Washington State, and even more focused in, I love the Olympic Peninsula.
It is really beautiful there, and just to be in the middle of the forest, you really felt like you were in the middle of nowhere. But we still managed to get Starlink and enough sunshine. That's the hard thing when you're in the forest, is we need to get solar and service.
And this spot is pretty popular on Campendium. The weeks we were there, there was a pretty consistent group of people, and then they left, and then some more people showed up. So it does get a lot of traffic, but I think we hit it at a really good time because it was quiet. And again, we hung out with a great group of friends.
Next category, harvest host locations.
Well, the one that's gonna stand out and that I'm gonna continue to tell people about probably the rest of my life is when we stayed at that bison ranch in Nebraska.
Yeah.
The host was so kind, very quirky guy. Hi, Rick. And he took us on a tour, basically in a little side-by-side with no doors, out into the middle of 200 and some bison.
Ugh.
Mello was frightened to death.
Yeah, I was so scared. But like, having survived, lived through it, it definitely like stands out. Like it's for sure gonna be one of the most memorable things we did.
We'll never forget that one.
You don't have to.
I think the favorite places we stayed was the Blue Heron French Cheese Company in Tillamook, Oregon. They had a huge spot for parking. They could have, I think, up to like 50 people stay, and they also let you stay for up to 3 days, which is kind of unique for a Harvest Host.
We're in Oregon, on the Oregon coast, during the high travel summer season, and to find a free place to stay for 3 nights was incredible. Oh, and they have a little petting zoo area too, with donkeys and sheep and goats. Now, if you have a self-contained RV, van, bus conversion, whatever, and you'd like to stay at over 7,000 Harvest Host locations for free, we'll include a link to our Harvest Host affiliate link below so you can learn more about it. We'll get a little kickback if you sign up, and that'll help pay for our Harvest Host membership for next year.
I just love your face. So as we're here sharing our favorite places with you, we thought we'd put this out to you. What has been your favorite video from our 1 year travel? Is there one that stands out?
Yeah, is there a place there that you just thought was a really fun video that we took you along? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Just comment below, let us know.
Breakfast time. Category, favorite campground. What's yours, Don?
There's a little campground right outside of the western part of Tucson called Gilbert Ray. I kept calling it Gilbert Sullivan.
It just was cool. It felt like you were like in the middle of the Sonoran desert with all the like saguaro cacti everywhere, and it was just really fun. I don't know how to explain why it's my favorite, but it just is.
Yeah, what about you? What was one of your favorites?
Oliver Lee Campground in New Mexico. It's a little bit of a time and place thing too, but the views were amazing. The hikes that were just off the campground were amazing, and it was my birthday and we got to go to White Sands National Park. It was just like a fun experience all around, and we met some of our closest friends on the road at that spot.
I'll also say an honorable mention here is Mary's Lake Estes Park Campground, just because you could get up in the morning, drive a couple miles, and be in the Rocky Mountain National Park.
Yeah.
Now, our favorite resort. Now, a resort is a place that is a campground, but it has all kinds of amenities, like a hot tub and a pool or some special thing. Mella, what was your favorite resort?
Mine was the Turtle Rock RV Resort in Gold Beach, Oregon. They had hot tubs, but like not just a communal one, hot tubs in your own site. And the location next to the creek was so gorgeous. I love being by water, and the fact that we could walk onto the beach, love that.
My favorite was the In-Town Campground right in Nevada City, California. Even though technically it's called a campground, not a resort, it had a swimming pool, it had an outdoor movie theater. There were so many cool things, and it's a beautiful area, just walking distance to downtown Nevada City. Now, you don't always get to pick a wonderful spot to stay in. Sometimes you got to pick a last-minute place to stay overnight. And one of our favorite ones was the casino in Florence, Oregon. We had a tough time finding places to stay on the Oregon coast in the middle of summer, as we'd already mentioned. And we found this place that you stay one night for free with a player's card. And then if you got points by playing the table games or slot machines, you could stay longer. I went in and played 3-card poker the first night. I won almost $300, and we got enough points we could stay for a week and a half if we wanted to. Any place that's a free overnight and they pay you, that's gonna go on the top of the list on mine. What about you?
I think casinos have like been our favorite parking lots in general, and it's not necessarily that we want to go gamble. Don does like to gamble every now and then, but there have been some really good ones, and one that was great too was Morongo Casino. We were on our way to Joshua Tree, and we saw that the weather was really bad, bad there. So we decided to just stop at Morongo Casino and wait for the bad weather to pass. And again, I think we could stay a week for free there.
Yeah.
And you didn't even have to play or anything. Like there wasn't any requirements. But there were restaurants around. There was like the outlet malls. We went and did shopping. There's some random desert, you know, sightseeing things to do there too. But it was a great parking lot with a good view, easy, quiet place to stay, security patrolling all night. Loved it. This is pretty good.
I bet. Now, as you guys have seen, we love to camp in places where we can get out and go for a hike. My favorite hike this year was going in the Rocky Mountain National Park and hiking up to those 3 lakes. The top one was Lake Hayaya.
Like Hayaya.
Hayaya. We never pronounced it correctly in the video. We'll probably won't pronounce it correctly there today.
I think what was so cool about that one was that we didn't plan to go to that lake. There's like a series of lakes you can go to, and we didn't plan to go to that one. We didn't know that there was this like once in a lifetime occurrence happening there, and just we passed somebody, another random hiker, who was like, I just have to tell you this because I don't think everybody knows this. And if it wasn't for her, we would have not seen that lake.
Yeah, it was this glacier slurry that had come down into the lake, made it a beautiful green color. It happens in the Alps, but it almost never happens in North America. So it was one of those beautiful once-in-a-lifetime experiences.
My favorite hike, we didn't actually make a video about this time here because it was like a little like retreat for us, and it stands out to me as one of the favorite hikes, perhaps because it was such a spiritual, personal time for us here. It was at the Beverly Beach State Park in the Oregon coast. The campground was really busy because it was summer. What I loved about it was on either side of the campground there were trails running through the forest down to the beach. And we generally, even though the campground was busy, we didn't see people on that trail very often, so you were often alone. And then after you walk down to the beach, you got like miles of beach you can walk on. And we got like 4-mile hikes in every day. It was just beautiful. We don't have a ton of footage to show you because this was our time like away from the camera, but go look it up. It is gorgeous.
Next thing we're going to talk about is our favorite town that we visited. You know what yours is?
Yeah, Nevada City, for sure. So many people were like, you have to go to Nevada City, and I absolutely loved it. I loved that it was just like in the middle of the woods too. The town was super cute. The people were amazing. I felt like I fit in there. If we were going to live in a town, I feel like that's where I would live. Only thing that's wrong with it for me is winter's still too cold.
I think the culture there, the community, it's so artistic. We showed up at an Irish pub on a Wednesday and there was a ton of musicians playing Irish music. We went to a show that night. So much culture. Really seems like a great community.
How about you?
I think if I had to pick a town that we visited, I would pick Bisbee, Arizona. Super quirky town. We only spent about 5 hours there on a day trip, but so colorful, so artistic.
Yeah, fun. Was it the like one that surprised us, right?
Yeah, it was. I think we would definitely go back and spend more time there. Lots of colorful art, community, lots of music. That's the kind of stuff we love.
Our next category is gatherings, and we mean like unofficial gatherings, conventions, just events that we went to. The major standout one for sure is Schoolypalooza.
Yeah, we had such a great time meeting so many people that lived in school buses, converted buses, all kinds of nomads. It was the first time that we really felt like, wow, this is our new community and they're fantastic.
Yeah, if you missed that video, I'm gonna link it up here because, man, it was such a great event just to kind of meet your people. Can't say enough good things about it.
The other one that stood out for me is we went to the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. We spent 2 days filming, and it was beautiful, absolutely stunning to see these magnificent balloons and so many of them.
Yeah, definitely kind of like a once in a lifetime experience. It was magical with all those balloons in the sky.
Shall we walk? We thought it was important to add this category, which was sightseeing. This is when we get in a car, go on a day trip, go to a museum, or hop on a tour bus, although we didn't do that. But we do have two.
We hop on a bus all the time.
But not a tour bus.
We don't want to get on a tour bus.
But I think we had two standout sightseeing trips that we did this year.
This one might not be a surprise to you guys because it was spectacular. Lake Tahoe. Oh.
Neither of us had been to Lake Tahoe, and we were about 45 minutes, an hour away, so we took the day trip in the car up there and rode scooters and bikes around, and it is gorgeous.
It just blew us away. It was so beautiful. I think we're definitely gonna have to figure out how to go back and actually stay there, because I mean, while it was wonderful to just see the lake and how beautiful it is, I think we need to stay there.
Yeah, I think so.
Really soak it in.
The second sightseeing highlight from the year on our list is
whale watching.
I'm on a boat.
This was just such a fun experience from like beginning to end, just being on a boat too. The views were amazing, and of course, seeing the humpback whales, that was like really special.
Yeah, I just love that part of the country, as I've said in this video and multiple videos, being out in the Puget Sound and the Strait of Juan de Fuca. We were right up at the edge where US and Canada meet. It was a beautiful day, and we had so much fun.
Yeah, definitely gonna remember that one for a long time.
Next on our list is
favorite national parks. So we went to quite a few national parks. We haven't been to all of them, but from what we could fit in this year of national parks, what's your favorite?
Rocky Mountain National Park.
Yeah, we talked about our hike on Lake Hyatt.
Oh.
We had more days driving around too. It was just, it's a special one.
It's very special. We loved it. We stayed about 4 miles outside the park. Went in a number of days and hiked, walked around, looked for wildlife. Just so gorgeous. Walking up in the tundra, remember that? Like the only tundra in lower 48 states of America. It's just a whole different ecosystem and terrain.
I think this is a hard one to pick a favorite. I mean, every single national park we went to was amazing. Other than Rocky Mountain National Park, I would have to say Yosemite.
Yeah, Yosemite is breathtaking. And we did a little day trip. We were about an hour away from it as well. We spent a good long day traveling around, seeing the sights and the waterfalls. Remember how California had all that rain in the spring? We got there just when it was letting up. The waterfalls were out of control.
Seriously beautiful. It wasn't my first time at Yosemite, but to have the waterfalls flowing with water so much was like such an amazing experience. This time was just, amazing.
And now we got a question for you guys. If you've been watching our travel videos, we're curious to know, where have we gone that you would love to visit? That's it. Just comment below. Let us know.
So because we are also searching for somewhere to possibly live in the future at the same time, questions we often get asked are, is there like a favorite state you love, or did you find anywhere that you could see yourself living?
And the answer to that first part is we lived in California for 20 years, and going back to visit as full-time travelers, it was still an amazing state.
There's reasons why we left, but there is no denying that it is a beautiful state, and it's just got such variety.
The deserts to the mountains.
To white sandy beaches, snow-topped mountains to hot weather on the coast. There's really just such a variety in California and just so much beauty.
And it's such a massive state too. I think it's sad to see how sometimes the media plays this thing against Californians because it's so diverse. There's extremely large conservative areas, there's very liberal cities, and there's everything in between. It's a real disservice, I think, to the country to dismiss it the way that maybe some of the media does. I can understand how some people don't like the way that the tax structures are done or businesses are treated, but it's such a beautiful place that so many people want to live there, and that's why it has one of the biggest economies in the country. If you want to hate on us for loving California, that's fine, but it was our favorite state. What about second favorite state?
Oh, either Washington or Colorado.
I completely agree. There's something about mountains, pine trees, and nature, wildlife, fresh air, and a higher elevation.
I like all the sunshine in Colorado, but I like that Washington has the ocean.
Yeah. What else is on our list?
Did we find anywhere we could live? No. I think what we are realizing more and more is that we really, as we are chasing good weather in our bus, we are also really looking to live comfortably with weather, because we do want to live in our bus long term, and maybe we'll build other structures, but if we build something else, it's also going to be some kind of alternative building where we would want to live off grid. And I think, yeah, good weather is something we really want, and we find places that we love, but then we're like, oh, it's great in summer, but winter's gonna suck.
You gotta
or vice versa.
Yeah, you gotta realize we've got about 1.5 inches of insulation in our walls and maybe 2.5 inches in our ceiling. If you've got a house, you've got 6 feet in your ceiling. There's a reason why people who live in snowy areas have such wonderful insulated properties, is so they can make it through the winter without freezing to death.
And I just don't like snow. Sorry. I mean, snow for a weekend's great, but I could not do a full season of snow. Some people love it. It's just not me. But I think we're realizing that there's a big chance that we just kind of become snowboard, right? And we have somewhere we live in winter and somewhere we live in summer that we go between. So we may be traveling a lot, but nothing is decided, and we're gonna keep searching.
Now we got a question for you here. We've done this section of our travels. We've seen a lot of stuff this year, more so than we've probably seen in 10 years of our Sticks and Bricks life. But where do you recommend we go in our next 365 days of travel? Do you got a favorite place, an area, a national park, a state park, or just a campground that you absolutely love? We'd love it if you could share with us. Please comment below and let us know about that.
Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment.
And if you want to help us continue to make videos about our travels, head over to patreon.com/Rehabit8 and look into the Rehabit Tribe. It's a small group of our supporters who help us financially cover our costs and making videos. We share extra footage, behind the scenes. We do little chats about things we're thinking about. Plus, we do some real-time updates to tell you what's going on with us, where we're really at this moment.
Get the inside scoop.
Yeah. So we'll include a link to that one below.